I'm Donna Duke. I'm a visual artist. I was introduced to the arts at around 5 years old, and then after I graduated university in 2019, I became a full-time artist. My earliest artistic memory would have to be when I was 7 or so, making pottery. The greatest turning point for me was during the End SARS movement. Myself and some artists, we went to the protest ground and we created work that was then sold, and the proceeds were donated to End SARS initiatives. It was just a really proud moment to be a young Nigerian standing up for something we all believed in. Frida Kahlo, because she created her work out of necessity and as a way to journal and chronicle the events in her life, the people that were in her life at certain points. And that's pretty inspiring in terms of creating work because of the work, not as a means that justifies the end. I'm not too sure I would know how to describe my artistic style, as it's evolving with each piece. In terms of technique and creative process, I work with oils, and I'm usually painting portraitures or the human body in some form. And then I have a running motif of using metal leaf in my work, so if it's gold, copper, or silver leaf, I like to add that in for richness and also a reminder to the viewer of Black excellence. Fearless, vulnerability, and self-awareness. In my work, I always like to convey either a message of vulnerability, openness to newness, of an idea, a concept, of a person, and I like to allow the viewer to also be able to put themselves in the position of the piece. As an African woman today, I think there's a dichotomy between the old and the new. So for me now, it feels as though we're allowing ourselves to almost define what the new Nigerian woman will look like, whether or not she wants to take on a lot of the values of the old or completely reinvent herself to create a new. My works take on a symbolic and literal view of my perception of the female experience. In one of the works called The Seemingly Submissive Dreamer, it asks the viewer to step into the body of the woman as an observer. So we're told through a religious perspective and also culturally that we're supposed to stand behind our man, be submissive to him, and he knows best, and he will lead your family to where God has ordained your family to go. In that way, a lot of women over the years throughout history have almost looked to the heavens and looked through the gaze of whatever their husband's dreams were or are, to find meaning in their place. People are generally very visual and they take in information a lot easier through visual means. So I believe that art is a very integral part of that change, and especially with the growing number of female artists in the Nigerian art scene. It will allow people and artists themselves to tell their story, open new minds, change new hearts, and grow wider awareness. My favorite piece from the exhibition will have to be a piece called Longing. It's a close-up portrait of a woman, eyes closed, but there's a sense of peace that's washed over her face. That indicates where I am as a woman in this world, hopeful, wishful, and dreaming about what's to come. The most challenging would definitely have had to been finding inspiration and being very specific and particular about the stories and perceptions of being a woman that I wanted to tell and I felt needed to be portrayed. The easiest would definitely just be painting. I hope viewers put themselves in the perspectives of the stories being told at the exhibition as a whole. I hope it also makes them question their lives, male or female. I hope they're able to question, dissect, and really contemplate where they are in the world and where they see themselves in the world, and leave a lasting impression. Black portraiture. Throughout history, Black people were depicted as subservient to their white counterparts, or their bodies were caricatured and mocked in visual arts. So it would be nice if earlier in our history we had such great works as The Birth of Venus or The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Vermeer.